Why did you choose your career?
Well, I got into engineering in college because, back, they probably still do this. Well, I'm really not that good at English, and I'm really good at math and science. So they always say, "Oh, you should be an engineer," right? You
Yep.
remember this is back in the Stone Age in the mid '70s. So that, that's basically how they try. The guidance counselors would sit there and say, "This is kind of your gifts because you obviously do better in what you're good at
Right.
or what your aptitude is." So I, would never be an English teacher or write for a living or whatever. Even though I spent time writing reports for a living, I had to review them a lot and whatever. And I found out that now I am dyslexic. I always were, which made a lot of sense in some of the reading and comprehension stuff. But they
Oh,
didn't. But they didn't have that back then.
yeah.
They didn't diagnose that and whatever. They just said you were hopeless or not trying and all that stuff. So that was not a lot of fun.
No.
But it wasn't bad enough where I could still do math problems. But every once in a while you transpose a number and
Yeah.
you have to be careful with that. But so anyway, so I went into engineering. Why I picked civil engineering, I don't have no idea.
Okay.
It just seemed like it's outdoors, and I like to be outdoors, and most of the other stuff is indoors.
Hmm.
Basic, or in a chemical plant, which I don't want to work in a chemical plant.
Yeah.
Like your parents.
Right. Exactly.
So then they did. So then I got out of school, and the economy was not the best, and the state needed field engineers. I said, okay, well, I was basically trained as a structural engineer. I took
Mhm.
those classes more than there's like 6 or 7 facets of civil engineering. Your structures, hydrology, hydraulics, geotechnical engineering for the people that deal with the ground and supporting buildings. All have to figure that stuff out. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. But I just went on the structure side because we were macho men, and it was harder
Right.
than the other ones. And the teachers were harder, and we are just going to say, we can get an A from this guy, and no, we couldn't. We got B's, but hey, it was fun. So but anyway, so the only job that was open was to be a field engineer outside, working for the state, building stuff, like a little, you see little bridge jobs around as you drive around, or road or milling pavement. So I did that for 5 years, and then I said, well, too political, a lot of politics involved in government. So I just, looked at an ad in a magazine, and just I just applied for this job at Cigna, and it was a field construction engineer, and my job was to do loss control surveys for the projects that I visited, and also do evaluations for underwriters who had English degrees, trying to
Okay.
underwrite construction, because nobody really saw a benefit most of the time in hiring engineers to underwrite engineering stuff.
Yeah.
So, but some companies did, and a lot of companies did, because you had to pay them a little bit more money, and I don't know what it was, but
Right.
so anyway, so I got into that, and it was basically because it was a 25% raise in a company car, and something different. But I had to obviously find something else to do, because the state. I got my license at the state, and I got my 5 years experience, and said, let's go do something else, because if this doesn't work out, I can find another job while I'm getting paid more,
Hmm.
which is what a lot of young people do.
Right.
Just really, hey, take that, just keep getting that salary up. If and you usually don't go backwards too much in a good normal economy. They don't care how you got to where you are. They assume you deserved it, whatever. It's always willing to pay you. So then, after that, 5 years of that, working at my house in Ohio, got a call from the bosses in New York and said, hey, we need somebody to be in home office that's technically to manage all these people that aren't engineers and whatever. So I said, well, I took the flight to New York, interviewed, to say just no politely, because you don't want to say well, they may never call you again for something else. And once I got there, I said, well, I think I can do this. So moved the whole family to Yardley, Pennsylvania, and we commuted to New York for a couple of years, and then that job changed to something else, and 24 years ago, I basically they gave me the business that I do now, and I've been growing that and managing that for the last 24 years of basically ensuring completed infrastructure throughout the country. I do a little construction insurance, but not mainly. It's the PA Turnpike, New York State Thruway, big facilities like that, Mass Pike.
Gotcha.
It's all stuff like that.
So mainly, like, it's already been completed, so now.
Yeah, right. I do some construction insurance.
Okay.
I was like, I can. It's just that these other people do it too, but I'm so busy with my other stuff. But if one of my best friends in the business has a project or a program, they want me to work with me, you can't really say you can't work with Mike.
Okay.
Because we like to work together.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so I do a little bit of that, but mainly most of what I do is completed infrastructure stuff.
Okay. And what is the best part of your job?
My best part is meeting a lot of neat and interesting people and helping them solve their problems or insurance problems. That's the best part of my day. Again, I like to travel. I like to meet people. I like to see different things. Oh, wow, that's neat. And then, you go there and they always explain what it is, how it is, and all that stuff. And that's just, I'll get to it down lower also. I'm one of those guys that like to know why. This is probably why I'm an engineer.